Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond Decadent Planning with Erin. Today we are going to be going through my monthly expense review. For those of you who have watched my channel before, I am trying out tracking down all my expenses. And so before, what I was doing is I would just, if the money was in my envelope, I would go ahead and use it, or I knew I had it to use. But there was something going wrong with my finances. I was down way more money than I was expecting. And so something was up. Now I knew I was using my debit way more than I should have been. I thought I was pulling out the money that I was using for my cash envelope, but as I discovered with this process, I am actually not. So one of the things I wanted to do to help keep myself in track was I wanted to go through and actually keep track of my expenses for the month. So you'll see here, I wrote down all of my expenses and then just highlighted it to make it easier so that when I wrote down how much my actuals were, I had a full amount. One of the things, as I mentioned, that I discovered is I wasn't writing down all of my expenses. So for example, you'll see I have a bunch of expenses here in my subscription category that I forgot to keep track of until I was going through and I was writing down my subscriptions and realized, wait a second, why do I have zero spent on here? I know I purposefully put money in here all the time. So I went back through and found out there was other items that I was missing. The other thing I found with keeping track of my expenses, you'll see, so I started off, I'm constantly making changes, but you'll see here I was writing out the full day. I decided, no, that's too much work. I'm just gonna put a little month on here, and that way I can just write down the day. I don't need to worry about anything like that. It is in my 2025 planner, so I know it's from that year. The other thing I discovered is you'll see, and I probably can't read that very well, but you'll see here it goes like June 1, June 1, June 1, June 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're back up to 6. Then we're down to 8. Then there's a 1, a 2, 3, 4. So I needed to do better at actually making sure I had collected all of the receipts that I had been spending. So I think I did get better at that towards the end. There are still like a few here, like you'll see, this is a 22. It should be up here, but it's not. So I just need to get into a better habit of, as I'm spending, at the end of the day, I need to write it down rather than waiting and doing a bunch at once. So that's what I found with doing my expenses. Either way, I love this. I'm going to continue doing this for July. I'm filming this in July, so I've already started to keep track of my expenses. But anyway, super, super helpful because this really helped me to determine a lot of things. Number one, on my review, I was able to figure out how much I had budgeted. So for these ones up here, it was because I'm typically using the money within that week period or within that month, and my envelopes are always zero after that, I just put in what I budgeted. These ones, on the other hand, are sinking funds. So what I did is I went to my sinking fund tracker, and I actually looked at, okay, well, looking at these amounts in here, so for the month, I know that beauty, I had put in $50, which raised my total to $115. So for beauty, I was able to put $115. Now, I spent $100 on my expenses from getting my hair done, so I still had 15 cents. $15 in my envelope. So that was definitely a positive. So really liked this process. Definitely super handy to have this, so I didn't have to go through and double check what the amounts were because I had it right here. But like I said, there was definite situations where I realized I went over budget because I was using my debit. So looking at my groceries, for example, I budgeted to have $1,000, so $500 each pay. When I went through my receipts, I actually found that I spent $1,600. I have no idea where that extra $600 went. So I'm going to assume it was actually spent going into debt. So I actually took from my savings that is in my account to pay for that extra grocery money. Same with restaurants. I spent $135 over what I was expecting to. So I didn't have that money in my envelope, and so it had to come from somewhere. So it came out of my savings. So I actually went further into debt in some of these areas because I didn't have the money saved. So that is going to be one of my goals this year. This month is really, I know I've had it, for those of you who've seen kind of my budget setups, my June budget, like one of the things was keep using cash, not debit. I even put it on my July, use cash, not debit. But this really just emphasizes it for me that I am getting into financial trouble, and dipping into savings and even credit card debt because I am not being mindful about using only what's available to me. So I really need to focus on doing that this year. Some things, like this one, for example, medical, like I went 300 over. Those were unexpected issues that came up, so unavoidable. But I totally had control over groceries and restaurants. So while this one I'm okay going into debt for, these two I am definitely not. So need to start being, again, more mindful about how I'm spending my money. So overall, absolutely love this process. Definitely recommend it for those of you who are budgeting and using the cash envelope method. I can't stress enough how helpful tracking my expenses were, and I am going to continue to do this. I think I'm going to try and do this monthly review. I didn't want to do it on camera just because it was the first time I had done it, so that's why I'm doing kind of an overview after the fact. Plus, I can't imagine it's super entertaining to watch someone count up receipts and count up lines. But I think I'm going to do something similar to this video after every month so you guys can see how I'm doing towards my goals. So again, so for a reminder, again, for those of you who have seen it before, but my goals this month in July are to track expenses, to stay on budget, and use cash, not debit. So hopefully tracking my expenses and doing the monthly review will continue to help keep this top of mind for me, so I know what's important. And what's important is I have a lot of financial goals longer term that I want to deal with. And so rather than spending an extra $600 in groceries, I would rather be putting that money towards something that I really, really want. So it's about priority for me. And my priority is those long-term goals, not having an extra bag of chips or going out to a restaurant an extra time. So yeah, super good learning for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this overview. I'm going to continue to do it, and you'll be able to see how I do towards my goals. Thanks everyone. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. And I would love it if you guys are doing this type of thing. Please comment. Tell me how you do, what works, what doesn't work. Maybe I can steal some good ideas to help me keep on track for next month. Thanks everyone.